Hey all, here is my digital Bible journaling page for 1 John 4:19, and several of you wanted a sneak peek at my layers, so I decided to make a layout tip video just so that you can see my layout layers. Let's start. I'm going to go ahead, and it's usually easiest to take it all off to put it all back on. So we're going to go all the way down to, I hope I can remember, it's that one, because I've got several in here that I've played with. Here are the papers. Of course, I started with a white background, and normally I don't keep that, but because I was using masks on these two papers by Bernie, she also goes by Bobo Bernie for her designer name, because I was using these two papers and masking them, some of the mask was you can see right here the transparency through it, and so I was actually allowing this white layer to show through, so I kept it there. Let's look at the layer masks. We have this paper here, and if I disable the layer mask, you can see I've got this paper way down on the page. I actually moved it up and down. I was going after green grass at the bottom of the tree, and so you can see it's just a straight line, but I used the layer mask here to smooth it on the edge. You can see how it's a little bit smoother on the edge. If I control click on the layer mask, whoops, no, that is not right. Alt click on the layer mask, it allows us to see the layer mask itself. And I simply used the gradient tool with black and white, and just kept drawing with the gradient tool until I got something that looked right. I'm going to Alt and click on the layer mask, and I go back to this original view. Now I did this same thing with this paper. Let's disable the layer mask temporarily. You see it only comes down from here, and I was going after the tree having a sky behind it, but I needed it to blend into the green paper. So I am in the full version of Photoshop CC, but you can do most of these things in Photoshop Elements, and if you can't do it in Photoshop Elements, I will let you know. All these things have been covered in other tutorials on my site, so if you just go through all the tutorials on my site, you'll learn this stuff. For instance, holding down the Alt key and clicking on the layers mask in order to see just the layer mask. I think that's in one of the fun extra classes. This is the layer mask for this blue, and remember, black conceals, white reveals, so it's actually, if you look over here in the layers palette, it's actually opposite of the green one. I wanted to conceal the top of the page for the green one, and I wanted to conceal or hide the bottom of the page for the blue one. So I actually created the gradients just opposite of each other. Alt click, and there you see how now that gradient works nice. It even works nice right into the white paper. If I didn't need that white background, but I needed a place maybe for my text, so that my text could be readable, having that gradually go into a white background would be a very effective thing. So that's how I created the background with two of Bernie's papers. The next thing on here is not, it was actually the last thing I added to the page, but since it's lower and we're going up from the background, This is part of Doodle Through the Bible. I downloaded it from her website, and you can't see all of it, unfortunately, because I used my eraser tool on it. But there were actually 3 little guys getting baptized on here, but I needed a river for my layout. And so I started with this, and there's actually tutorials in the Digital Bible Journaling class on the website at Hummy's World. Go there and look. I'm not going to go through all how to do everything, but for this technique, that's where this tutorial is. So I actually selected each one of these little streams, and then I filled it with on another layer, on a different layer. It's not matching right now because I later resized it. I separated it. My husband was sitting here with me, and he says, "Well, I think they would look better separated." And so I separated them, and then I had them 3 different colors and all of these other various things. And then the bottom line was, after all of that, we decided that just this one was good, and I added this drop shadow. Now this is different in the full version of Photoshop than it is in Photoshop Elements. In Photoshop Elements you wouldn't be able to play with this drop shadow quite as much. You can still get a very nice drop shadow, but in the new version of Photoshop you can add multiple drop shadows in your layer style. And I actually had a very small stroke of just 1 to it to kind of define it for the page. And in this same little graphic above the guys being baptized because they were being splashed into the water, she had some little raindrops, so I actually colored in those raindrops, and this has actually got a lowered opacity of 41% on it, but those are actually hidden in the tree to add to the page. Now, this is the download that I have available in, it's currently available in the Digital and Hybrid Bible Journaling Facebook group. I don't know if it'll stay there forever, if it'll ever come out from there, but that's where it is right now. And you can download it for free along with Bernice papers, so you can recreate this whole thing in your own way, just the same. So I have this tree, and I don't know where it is at. It seems to become separated for whatever reason. But here is the outline that goes with it that is also available download on the website. Now, I actually felt that the lines were too thick, and so just simple enough, let me disable this mask. The reason for that mask is because I created a mask to make the lines thinner. So how I did that was to control click down on the thumbnail of that outline tree layer, and then I did select, modify, and contract, and I contracted that selection, I think, about 3, and then I think I hit select and inverse, and all of this is in Photoshop Elements. You just have to find where it is in your interface, and then just simply clicked to create a layer mask, and it created, I'm going to Control D to deselect that, and it just automatically, it's already enabled, created that layer mask and made my line thinner, and I liked the line much thinner. There it is, disabled, and there it is, enabled. So the next thing I did, this actually took me a while, and I probably should have shared it. It took me a while. I made the white behind the tree. It took me a while because I have an open tree up here at the top. And so I couldn't just click down and select. I actually had to manually create that with my brush. So that took me a little while. I just used the brush tool and colored in white all over the tree. That wasn't very effective. But that is my tree. You can see that we go back up here to the pink outline layer. I also have a drop shadow on that. If you remove the drop shadow, look at the difference it makes. Now, it would be perfectly fine like this. I almost left it like this. I like the flat look for this kind of drawing type thing, but having the 3 drop shadows really added depth to that. Then I have, here I have some text. I'm just going to go ahead and add that in there. It actually goes around those hearts coming down, and it's positioned there. It's not necessarily the order I put it on here. I move things up and down on layers as I add them to get them to go behind something. But then the next thing is Tara's Doodles. So this is Doodle Through the Bible. She has this as a free download in the Digital and Hybrid Bible Journaling Facebook group. You can go get this and you can go do this yourself, and go to the website in Hummy's World to learn how to fill this stuff in. I simply used a brush. I didn't do anything fancy with this. And so I put each one of these, just drawing with brushes on a separate layer. I just simply had to draw in the lines and went back and forth with my eraser. And there are the leaves, and there are the birds, and then there are the music notes. And I could have gone back, you see I did it the pink color for their beaks. I could have gone back and done so much more. I could have added layer styles. I could have gone back with the dodge and burn tools and made it all so much more realistic, but I just wanted to have fun doing my layout, and I didn't go too far. You can take this as far as you want, and I thought it was fun to make the pink, the branch pink, to match the pink of the tree. Branches aren't usually pink, but I was going for something different and creative. Now here is a download that is in my download, that's in that Facebook group that we talked about, and it has that 3 drop shadow thing on it, but just apply a drop shadow as you can in your program. And then this is the other one. This one got moved around. It was over here, and I needed balance on my page. I had the bird thing lower, and then when I added the river, I had to make the birds go higher, and then when I made the birds go higher, they were hiding behind the heart, and so you just have to keep moving things around. Then here's the text that I wrote, and then just turned it to fit, and more text. And where'd that text come in? Down here. More text. Now this text, I did use the warp tool, and this is in Photoshop Elements also, and I use the rise, and I have these settings here in order to get it to kind of flow a little bit more with the stream. It was when I was thinking about the verse, and I thought about this statement that I wanted to add the stream. And well, that's about it. That's as easy as it is. And that's a behind the scenes look, and maybe a few tips to help you with creating this layout, and you can recreate it. You can copy me. I would be honored. I actually, got some of this inspiration off of something I saw online, but then you bring all the other elements in and you recreate it yourself. So I look forward to seeing what you can do.